Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Yeah, welcome to the Monday morning recap show on Drinkin' Bros Sports. What time is it back east? 6 o'clock? 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
Right on time. Right where we need to be, I feel like. Right where we need to be. Speaking of who needed to be somewhere over the weekend, that was you, Hot Bob. How was your baby moon?
Well, you know, the resort was lovely, and I bought weed legally and just got fucked up as my wife read a book by the pool for a couple days. But I will say, the resort was outside of Tucson. We didn't really go into Tucson very much, but Tucson is a hot skillet that someone used as a toilet.
Yes, yes.
That town was stunningly gross. I don't know how anyone would enjoy. Like, before going there, I was like, man, Arizona's got to be like a top fucking 5 school to go to. Like, just so much. Not Arizona State, Arizona. Like, I would prefer to go to Arizona over Arizona State.
Yeah.
And after that, I was just like, there weren't really any interesting bars downtown or anything like that. But yeah, the baby moon was good. I just got fucked up all weekend. And the picture that I posted to my Instagram on Mother's Day to be like, Happy Mother's Day, I am fucking on the moon in that picture.
Speaking of Mother's Day,
yes.
Can we stop pretending like getting cream pied makes you a fucking hero? Just shut the fuck up and do your goddamn job. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Everybody, this is like the best version, or I'm sorry, the most ubiquitous version of a participation trophy in human history. Father's Day, Mother's Day, shut the fuck up and do your fucking job. It is the very least you can do to raise your child properly after you created it. You don't deserve a fucking pat on the back or a fucking reward for it.
Dan, I think my bookie's going to have an over-under of when you join the militia. And
what does that have to do with joining a fucking militia? You
hate
shit.
Everything in life these days.
I like stuff that makes sense. I'll give credit where credit is due, and no credit is due just for showing up every day and doing your fucking job.
I gotta say, I think getting cream pied feels like quite a chore. If it were me, anyway.
Yeah,
but that's because you don't like it.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of wipe down afterwards. So.
Also, if you don't want to deal with childbirth,
yeah.
Eve shouldn't have eaten that apple.
I agree.
Fair point.
I agree. This is what happens when a snake with legs comes at you.
Yeah. Let's get into the top story here. Tim Tebow is back, baby. He's signed as a tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I am amped.
Is that the top story?
It's Tebow time.
The Tim Tebow.
Yeah, dude. We always start with the best story. I mean, is there a greater story than Tebow being back in the NFL?
Yeah, there's a greater story than that, but you already started this one, so we got to go with it now.
Yeah. We do this every week. We start with the worst story first.
Well,
so that way you get the full sense of where we're at.
You really need to get everybody hooked.
Yeah.
It seems like this is, or at least we've heard rumors that this is going to be some kind of Jesus bullshit.
Potentially,
Trevor Lawrence. I mean, look, I don't know how much you expect Tebow to play, although he is, for 33 is a little bit young, or old rather, to start your tight end career, but he also doesn't have the wear and tear on his body that a normal 33-year-old tight end would have. I mean, he hasn't really, he didn't really take any big hits in the NFL, right? And he only played a couple of seasons.
I mean, I guess you could say he probably took a lot of contact in college.
Yeah, but I mean, who cares? That was fucking 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And he clearly wasn't doing much in minor league baseball. So.
I would say this, though. I mean, look, he's obviously an incredible athlete, but how fast the NFL is, that takes some getting used to. I don't know what's going to happen here. But it is interesting. I mean, this is actually a good storyline.
Yeah, and the reason I brought it up, it was trending number one most of the day on Twitter, and then Kaepernick immediately was trending right behind that at 4.
Why can't I get a job? Because no one fucking likes you, dude.
Dude, I agree.
Shut the fuck up.
Somebody should give Colin Kaepernick a shot at tight end.
Yeah.
Why not?
Seriously.
He's too thin. At least Tebow's got the body type for it. I was always surprised he didn't slot over to
he pretty
tight end.
tall?
Yes.
No, I mean, Kaepernick. Kaepernick's a pretty tall dude.
He's
like
tall,
6'3",
but
I think,
he's thin.
Yeah, he's probably
have to block.
I would say 6'3", 205, 215 in that range.
Yeah.
He's not going to be. I mean, he could be a receiver at that height or that height weight though.
Easily.
And I don't know. Maybe he could be. He's pretty fast.
You know what he should have done? He should have said, "Fuck the NFL," and he should have pulled a Tebow as well and gone and tried to play baseball. Because he actually pitched in college.
Yeah.
Unlike Tebow, who I don't know the last time Tebow played fucking baseball.
He was this close to making it. If he didn't break his wrist, they were going to call him up for
as
the
a
Mets that year.
publicity stunt. I mean, like just like bringing up Henry Rowan-Gardner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break. Tebow was never going to be a Major League Baseball player, not a real one.
But it would have been awesome to see.
It would have been, I think, honestly.
Would Mets fans?
Well-
Mets fans would have paid to go heckle him.
Probably.
He had a better shot at being Mr. Met.
Right?
Yeah.
Just
Or
wearing
at
the
least,
hat.
At least driving the car around, yeah.
He's got a big head like me, though. So he might not even need the costume. He could just wear face paint.
But he was a good athlete. I mean, you just can't take 15 years off of a sport and come back like that.
No.
That's not how it works. We saw that with Jordan. Jordan performed like you would expect a guy who hadn't played in 15 years to play, right? He still, I mean, he had 200, right? But he
Right.
still stole 30 bases. He had like 5 home runs. It wasn't that bad.
Well,
I mean, he did a lot better than I would have done in Major League Baseball. Shit.
Game shape, though, I will say this: getting game shape ready for football was pretty easy because there wasn't that many games. But baseball, you're just kind of hanging out all day. You don't really need shit.
I think football is less about game shape at that point and how quick the game is and adjusting to that. Like you have to make rapid split-second decisions all the
Right.
time, no matter where you're playing. And I don't know if you can be out of it for that long and then come back and do it again like that without like a serious training period. And Tebow, like, it's like, gonna play baseball. Jesus said it. So
Can we all agree though that Hard Knocks has got to be the Jaguars this year with Urban Meyer,
Especially now,
Lawrence,
but yeah.
Etienne,
Yeah.
Tebow? I mean,
I don't see how you do it with anybody else at
Yeah.
this point.
I don't either. I don't either.
What I would like is for Jaguars fans to continue the Florida Gator tradition when Tebow
start murdering people?
was there. Well, they're probably doing that. But there was a thing. Jake told me this. Our buddy on Software Street, who he went to Florida. I think during the Tebow years or right after it.
Well, after.
Right, it was right after. But apparently,
We're much younger than you, Rob.
that's fair. I was there during the Tebow years, not at Florida. But he said that Tebow would constantly get pissed off, but was too nice to do anything about it. Like people would come up to him, girls would come to him all the time on campus and be like, "Oh my God, Tim Tebow, can I take a picture with you?" And he'd be like, "Sure, Jesus, blah blah." And they would specifically, constantly, like 1, 2, 3, go on the go, pull their tops up, and get topless photos next to Tebow. So I would like Jaguars fans to continue this tradition.
They will.
If you just want to see some titties, dude, we can just say that.
Yeah, I know your wife's pregnant and all, but like,
yeah.
there's
titty
there's
game-
the internet.
I mean, pregnant titty game out of control right now. So that's not.
That's the best. It's the best there is. If Tebow is getting all these titty shots, dude, if you're going to Jacksonville, have you guys been to a game in Jacksonville?
Yeah, I actually have.
Yeah, same. That stadium's wild. There's a pool in it.
Yep.
So I mean, you can go and just sit in the pool for 3 hours and watch a football game.
I'm surprised
it's a weird
Khan's
one.
not in there all the time.
Yeah.
Khan.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. This is what I think. I think this is all a conspiracy. I think that Tebow has some information about the days in Florida that could end Urban Meyer's career. And that's the only reason they signed him. Because why the fuck else would you?
I think to mentor, dead serious. I think it's just to mentor Trevor Lawrence, and they're both, hardcore Christians.
Why
and
does
everything else.
Trevor Lawrence need to be mentored by a fucking loser?
To be a team leader, and because
Tebow was never a team leader in the NFL?
he was the leader when he was on the Broncos. Everybody in that locker room was like, "It's Tim Tebow."
Get the fuck
He
out.
could-
When he was in Florida,
also,
it was the same way.
not- a
Don't
fucking
forget,
chance.
he can double as the team doctor.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He can heal you.
Circumcise anyone. Yeah. I still just like that. One of Tim Tebow's primary targets in college was a bisexual gang murderer.
That's great. So, I mean,
So
anything is possible.
He knows how to unite a locker. If
Well,
anyone knows how to,
Wasn't bisexual. It was just prison.
no,
Yeah.
no, that's not. I don't.
No,
think
it was
but
before
it
prison.
No.
It was just prison.
No, it was before prison too. Because did you watch the doc?
No, I feel like I know the story.
He was fucking the high school quarterback on his team. So the high school quarterback came out and did the full interview with his father, because he didn't want his father to know and everything else. It was a genuine relationship that this high school quarterback had with his high school tight end.
Yeah, he may have been life hacking it by declaring any room they were in a prison for that period
Right.
of time.
Yeah.
as one is wont to do.
He was in an emotional prison.
At all times, yeah.
Next up is the Kentucky Derby. Medina Spirits.
Junkie.
Junkie horse. Steroids.
Strip him.
Strip them.
Ross, you got to donate your money actually now.
So the New York Times ran an article about this today and actually used my picture and my winning ticket from the Kentucky Derby. Sean, I don't know if you can pop that in there, but the news and all that other shit took this
should
picture.
be on Chrome.
Yeah,
it should be
it's
up
everywhere around the world at this point. I keep getting tagged in it. It was on like E! News and all this other stuff. And everybody was asking, do you have to give the money back? The answer is no.
What
no,
are we going to
don't.
do? Come fucking find you? That was all a hand-to-hand transaction, man. What the fuck?
Well, at the Derby.
Cash
So what they're
money.
wondering with is digitally, like my bookie and those guys, what they're going to do.
No, they can't after the fact like that.
Correct. Yeah, is it on the screen right now? There you go.
That's why there's usually a
I
24-hour
guess
wait
scroll
period.
down, read the. They put a caption underneath it. By the way, they zoomed in, made my fingers look like they're fucking 5,000 pounds.
That's that wide angle
I
lens.
have dainty fingers. My hands are small. They're not great. These aren't NFL hands or anything. Like they're not big enough.
Scroll down and see the caption a little bit.
Yeah, scroll down and see read what it says there.
It
On
says,
it.
why is this man smiling? He gets to keep the money even if Medina Spirit loses.
Goddamn right. So none of us have to give that money back whatsoever. However, the jockey might be, or the trainer, I'm sorry, might be on the hook for $1.86 million. And that was the purse for the Kentucky Derby.
So Baffert?
Baffert is banned. So currently he's under suspension.
Which he
and-
appealed.
Yeah,
Because
he
he's
has
trying to, get Medina Spirit into the next stage.
So I'm
obviously.
glad you brought that up. So he has traveled. He is on his way to the Preakness, the horse. Baffert is not.
Is the horse like just walking to the Preakness?
No, it's driving. They drive.
The horse is
Right.
driving.
Yeah,
Not-
yeah.
no trailer.
No trailer, no
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, it's just it's Amish style. It's
Have you
got a little
heard the
carriage.
Have you heard the excuse? Like
which one?
Baffert's explanation.
No,
of what
you guys were
happened.
talking about it briefly before we came on air. What was this excuse, and is this real? Because I was laughing my ass off.
I don't know if it's physically possible. I'd love to hear from a fucking pharmacologist if this is even possible. But the defense is essentially that some asshole that was on cough syrup pissed on some hay he ate, and that's how it happened. Now, it was 21 picograms, which is like a picogram is, I think, a trillionth of a gram or some shit like that. So I don't know, or a millionth of a gram. I don't know what it is, but man, Baffert says one of the problems from the test was due to a groom urinating in the stall after taking cough medicine, right? Followed by Medina Spirit eating some of that hay. Now, who knows? This is a dude that's fucking making the horse look nice, right? Isn't that what the groom does?
Yeah, is it possible? Is that even physically possible? Like I'm trying
Why
to
would
think
that
about
be
it
a
in my mind.
performance-enhancing drug? Is codeine? Like,
Well, it's an
Yeah.
anti-inflammatory and it makes the horse not feel pain. So if it's in any kind of pain, it's like getting a cortisol. The drug in question is basically an equivalent for the cortisol you might get a shot into your joints to go play football, for example. Right? That's what it is. So I don't know. I don't know if that's physically possible. I don't know how much of that particular drug is in cough syrup that humans take, and I don't know how much of it would come out in your fucking urine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or how much the horse would have to ingest to get to that level of it. Now, this isn't a banned substance necessarily. It's banned on race day. So it is a substance that's used for therapeutic reasons with horses, but you can't test positive for it on race day. That's
Right.
the deal. This is very bizarre.
Yeah, and a lot of people are hitting me up saying, hey, why didn't they test before the race? They do both. So they test before the race and after, same in boxing and all that other stuff
Well,
to
it's
make
the same
sure.
it's the same as baseball.
Yeah.
They test before, and then they take two samples on race day. They test one if the A sample tests positive, they test the B sample to confirm. That's what they're doing right now. I haven't heard if the B sample's tested positive yet or not. I'm assuming that Baffert is filing injunctions or requesting information about the chain of custody and the lab that did the work, what if their instruments were up to date, and all this other bullshit, which means they're going to hold that B sample until they confirm all that bullshit and then put it into a lab that isn't controlled by either party, probably, right, to get third-party validation on whether or not this is a failed test.
The problem with it is this is now the 7th time this has happened to Baffert with his horses. So
Yeah, but it hasn't been the same thing over and over again, right?
no, but I mean, look, is it like cycling where if you're not cheating, you're not trying at that point? Like, I don't know what it is, but, you know, even he self-admittedly wasn't like, this was my best horse.
I don't understand why you can't just give it to the horse, because who cares?
Yeah, get them all jacked up.
yeah,
Get the
I mean,
animals all fucking
just
jacked up.
make
and
it-
under
also, what if the
control.
horse went rogue? Maybe
Yeah.
it did it itself. I don't know. I'm blaming the horse. I'm not blaming myself.
I, for
Can
one,
Baffert sue the horse?
I guess.
Yes, yeah.
I,
yeah.
for one, cannot throw out that some fucking stable junkie pissed on the horse's hay before doing whatever his fucking job was.
Well,
I'm all in. I'm not all in on that, but I buy it.
So here's the other portion of this is when before the race, they each go into these paddocks that are right outside. Everybody can come and take pictures. But during that day, there's like 10 or 12 races at the Kentucky Derby. It could have been anybody's piss if you're saying he was eating it in the paddock getting ready for the race. So, fuck, man, that leaves a world of possibility that is endless. I mean, of who that is.
They're saying it's the groom, but I can't imagine cruising over to my dog's food bowls and just starting to unload piss into them. If I knew a horse was going to eat that hay, I wouldn't fucking piss into it. That seems rude.
Maybe. But I mean,
is that normal? Because they said it like it was something that just happened. Oh, the fucking groom was pissing on the hay. No big deal.
So maybe there was like hay everywhere, and he was just like, "Fuck, I'm just gonna piss in this corner."
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
maybe
robo tripping my fucking.
He had the
dick
same
off.
opinion of the horse that Baffert did. It's a trash horse. Who cares? It was $1,000. This is not my best horse. He just treats him like shit.
Oh, man. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but he could be stripped. He could have the title stripped from him like a NCAA banner once you get popped for that. But financially, no, there's nothing they can do, and they're not going to give the money back. Now, Baffert might be on the hook for that 1.86.
Well, he's already filed an injunction in federal court in case the Preakness tries to keep him out of that race. Right.
Okay.
So he's looking ahead now. He filed an injunction this weekend, actually. So they're preparing to file a temporary restraining order.
Does that make the horse's sperm less valuable?
Probably, yeah.
Yes.
Was that horse's sperm going to be valuable anyway? This is more of a gritty David Eckstein horse winning an MVP in the World Series than it is like, what, Barbaro or whoever. That's like some LeBron James horse that's just like out of control.
But you win the Kentucky Derby, it doesn't matter. You're a Kentucky Derby winner. The other part of this is with this horse heading to the Preakness as of today, as of Monday, let's say it wins the Preakness. I mean, then, shit, the money for the studs of that. I mean, what was the, in this last Kentucky Derby we were in, all of them, except for 3 horses, came from Secretariat's fucking jizz, which is a weird stat.
I think all things considered, this is going to be relatively cheap jizz compared to other Kentucky Derby
Warfront
winners.
set the record last year with a $250,000 stud fee.
Ooh, Perth.
So every time that horse busts a nut, it gets paid $250,000.
American Pharoah didn't? I feel like...
American Pharoah, that sold for a lot too.
Probably held the record previous, but this was just last year. So.
Yeah, this was just last year. So I feel like it keeps going up because there's not a lot of these.
You could see the sparkle in Baffert's eye when he was talking about American Pharoah compared to his shit horse now.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they had some other relationship.
I think so.
You think he fucks horses? I mean, he's obviously dope.
Well, you can't get fucked by a horse.
Is he the Bill? No, I'm saying, does he fuck the horse? Is he the Bill Cosby? Is he drugging and then having sex with these horses?
I think
it's fair to ask that question. Allegedly.
Yeah, he probably is doing that. He doesn't seem like the type that could handle a Mr. Hands situation.
No, that's the worst one of all time, by the way. That's the one video that got me on the internet. That and the chopping up of the penis and eating it in the pan.
Pain Olympics.
Pain Olympics.
Yeah, those two got me. But the guy by the horse, just because you can just see it going.
Because I always thought the 2 girls 1 cup was like fake.
Yeah, it didn't really matter to me.
It wasn't.
It felt like ice cream.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. I couldn't get into it, but that one with the horse fucks the dude. That one hit my soul, and I can never unsee that again. So no. We'll see. Saturday nights was the Canelo fight. He broke the orbital socket.
You guys weren't catching up with Michelle Watterson?
No.
I don't know who that is.
We made
the karate hottie.
We made Giorgio make picks on that. Giorgio, did she end up winning the karate hottie?
No, she lost.
She lost.
Ask Giorgio how the rest of his picks went.
I went 1-3. If all you were wondering, I went 1-3. The Neil Magny Jeff fight was probably the most interesting fight of the night, and
it wasn't. It was
put
not
a lot of pressure on him. I mean, before the fight, we were going to guess that. I thought Cowboy was going to pull it out for his last fight in the UFC. You know, God forbid me think that guy might go out on top. And then I picked the main card correctly because Michelle Watterson definitely wasn't going to win that. So I went 1-3 for the night. Dan went 2-3, and we'll be back next weekend.
I didn't go 2-3.
No, you did. You faded
I went
me
2-1.
Or 2-1, sorry.
And I knew Michelle was going to win. I didn't put money on Michelle.
So
I pull for Michelle because she's an on-it athlete.
Here's the hilarious part of this, Giorgio. I don't know if you remember this. We were shooting, getting ready to set up for tonight's show. We're doing an Icebreakers Drinkin' Bros crossover episode with Michael Irvin and Anthony Dorsett, which is a fucking banger, live inside Cowboy Stadium. As we were setting up, Giorgio opens up his phone and he goes, "Look at this motherfucker's pics, dude. He's fading all my shit, dude." And Giorgio, he was the better man this weekend.
He came out on top. You know, sometimes I got to give it to the cash register. You know, when you're on a heater, you don't get off. And you know, Dan got me this week. I'll be back next weekend for when it really counts.
They need to keep running Cowboy out because I need to keep betting against Cowboy.
Yeah,
he needs to go home.
No, yeah, what happened in that fight? Because we live on air, I asked if that was going to be his last one. Is that his last one?
No.
How bad did he lose?
Wait, he lost pretty bad, but I mean, he fights anybody on short notice. He's cheap. He's loyal to the company. Dana's going to keep running him out. Yeah, he'll resign.
No way.
Was it a knockout?
He's done. He's going to PFL.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think that's the only place where some of these stars with a big name who like can't quite compete at the highest level anymore can go and still get a little payday. It's on TNT. They get some sort of like broadcast revenue rights. You know, it's a growing organization. I think that's a good home for them.
What's the lifespan of that, you think?
Pro Fight League? Mm-hmm. I mean, who knows if they make some good decisions, if they keep bringing in these guys. I mean, they gotta catch up with Bellator and ONE FC first. Right now, they're the fourth largest division, I would say, internationally. And you know, I mean, keep giving guys like Anthony Pettis money. You know, why not? Sure.
As long as people want to see it, yeah. And the reason why I asked this, Giorgio, is at the Canelo fight Saturday night, all of us had agreed that Canelo was going to win.
Oh, I didn't.
You thought Billy Joe Saunders
it was 5-1. Why not? Billy Joe was starting to heat up.
So we literally we're on the show talking about it, and I bet it live on air. I said the only value out of this fight, as far as betting wise goes, on mybookie.com, promo code Drinkin' Bros will double your deposit up to $1,000. Is picking the round because we all knew Canelo was going to win, and I picked the 8th round.
Tyson Fury convinced me otherwise.
Of what? Oh, he was there. By the way,
he was there, and he gave up this like pump up speech. He was just talking about how his boy's going to win.
Yeah,
he talked me into the 5-1.
No, he didn't. He definitely didn't win. But with that, it proved that there is nobody in Canelo's weight class that is worth a shit. I don't know where he goes from here. I don't know where the sport of boxing goes from here.
Plant's next up.
Who's that?
He's undefeated too. So it's just the next undefeated guy comes in, loses to Canelo.
Billy Joe Saunders was 30-0 and lost bad.
Well, broke his orbital.
Yeah.
He was heating up.
Yeah, he didn't break his orbital falling down the stairs before the fight. Homeboy punched his fucking face in.
Yeah.
All right? You're trying to explain that away like he was injured coming in. No,
he
got injured
Billy
by
Joe
the other guy.
Won the 2 rounds before that, though,
Fuck
right?
no,
he was starting to heat up.
He won 4 and 5, and that was it.
No,
he won
4.
Were you there?
He won 4.
I mean, according to the announcers, some of them had Billy Joe up.
No one had Billy Joe.
No one, not a single.
There was one announcer while I was watching the pay-per-view that had Billy Joe up.
Well, you're right. One announcer did, and I was like, "Is he watching the same shit we are?" Yeah. It was strange, but after that, all I kept thinking after that fight was, I was like, "All right, great. Canelo can definitely draw a crowd, right? There were 73,000 people there, no mask.
Yeah, all Mexican.
All Mexican.
Yeah, he should never fight outside of Texas. Why?
Ever.
Why go
Ever.
anywhere else?
Or Arizona, maybe.
Yeah, Arizona, California.
Southern California.
It's nothing like it was here in Arizona. I'm telling you.
Dude,
no
Jerry
way.
World fits 100,000 people. There were 73,000
They can
people
sell
there.
out 100,000.
Yeah.
They should fight in San Antonio outside of the
Actually,
Alamo.
San Antonio would go bananas.
There's not enough room. Have you been to the Alamo?
It's tiny, I know.
No, just
tiny.
go to the Alamo Dome.
But no, the Alamo is the ring.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Settle it again.
Yeah, really start going some old settings.
Yeah. Well, Billy Joe was complaining about how big the ring was.
Yeah, it didn't matter how big that goddamn ring was, to be honest with you. If it was 100 yards, he could have ran away.
Canelo
but
just hits so much harder than everybody else. It's just a different sound.
So
He hits somebody.
I wonder where boxing goes, though, man, because, look, Tyson Fury was there, and that was their big draw, right? Of like, oh, look at the audience. Here's Tyson Fury. Great. So that's he doesn't look like a heavyweight champion. He's funny, but you have
What do you mean he doesn't look like a heavyweight champion? The man is like 6'7", 6'8".
He's a monster.
Like, he's huge.
But look at him without a shirt on. It looks like George the Animal Steel. It's not like Lennox Lewis is out there anymore.
What's wrong with George the Animal?
What's that? R.I.P. Wait, is he? Yeah, he's probably dead. That's just a guess. It's a guess on that.
Let's be
George
safe.
Steele.
He's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead.
If not,
But these guys are, look, they've got a few fights in them. The Klitschko brothers were before that. They were fighting in Germany all the time.
how about the fucking fight before the
Wild-
main event?
Oh, okay. It was fucking.
What was that?
Garbage. All of it was garbage.
He was on his feet.
Yes. That was the dumbest shit
It
of
was
all
a
time.
title fight too.
And then he just fell down and just faked a
No,
knockout.
no. That was the rabbit punch. That was 2 fights before that.
Oh, yeah. But there was no rabbit punch in that either. All of those fights, right? Those guys don't have big enough names. So where does the sport of boxing go?
Keeps making money.
You got to make the names. You got to go the opposite route. You need to start making your boxers be just loud pieces of shit on social media. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
You got to be like, all right, why do people want to watch the Paul brothers? It's not for any other reason other than they want to see those fucking idiots get knocked the fuck out. So you need one guy on there who's just constantly like saying weird political shit. You need another guy on there. I don't know, maybe like
He
honestly,
also-
you could easily just go from the get-go if one guy's like crazy woke and the other guy's just like a fucking Trump lunatic, and just let those two like build towards each other till they fight. That alone would
you
get.
guys understand we're talking about one of the oldest sports in history, right? And the only way we can get people to pay attention to it is if they care about an ex-president. Rob, what the fuck are you saying?
What I'm saying is that what they care about is why they want to see someone they don't like get punched in the face.
Yes.
No, here's what boxing needs to do. They need to get rid of the old school mentality that a loss like completely destroys your reputation, destroys your career. Because for whatever reason, they're addicted to guys who are undefeated. Except obviously Canelo has that one loss to Floyd Mayweather, who's in their division, I guess, the GOAT. So he's undefeated. So
Yeah.
if you lose to somebody who's undefeated and you only have one loss, it's kind of forgivable. But like UFC doesn't have this problem because like you're going to lose fights. Everyone loses fights except Khabib. But
John Jones.
well,
John Jones. Look, and what it proved to me personally, being there, because I have been to 12, 15 championship boxing fights, and I love boxing. I love it. However, the people in the UFC right now are way more exciting than the people in boxing. Therefore, I like watching UFC is
But-
more attractive to me now than
because
than
of this mentality of like I don't want to take a loss, a lot of these matchups that people want to see they avoid for like the longest time. Obviously, the Pacquiao Mayweather fight that took 10 years too long.
Yes, yeah. They could have fought in their prime, and then they didn't. And when they did, Pacquiao had a torn shoulder or whatever the fuck it was. The odd thing was being there, man. The Paul brothers still dominated the conversation. Every single conversation regarding boxing was about the Paul brothers, man. It's strange.
That's because we won't stop talking about
'cause
them.
they
We can
wanna-
just stop anytime we want.
It's not us though.
It's not about. It's just about wanting to see him get knocked out. And the political stuff might have not been a good example. Take like the Houston Tiger thing for example. Like a guy keeping a tiger in a house too small. Tell your boxer to do that. Tell your boxer to keep a fucking tiger in the fucking master bathroom and like just post videos on TikTok of him tossing steaks into the bathtub. Just weird fucked up shit where you eventually are like, I need to watch this guy die on TV.
You understand Mike Tyson did exactly that, right? He walked a tiger around his house on
Yep.
a leash.
Yeah,
And
and-
you were
and
literally
guess what
describing
else?
what boxing's already done.
It was
He
the
also
best.
said he wanted to eat people's kids and all that shit. Like that's why
Yeah.
people like Tyson. They're like, this guy's fucking crazy.
I'm gonna eat your children. I'm
Yes.
gonna eat your children.
And we need more of that shit. Like,
You can't have like. I mean, this is coming from someone who is not a fight fan, so I'm not a good person to ask about baseball per se because I'm like, well, part of me is always like, what the fuck is not to like about baseball? But with fighting, like, I don't give a shit about fighting, and I'm telling you, the number one reason I would watch is to see either A, to just be like, yeah, I watched that pay-per-view, or to B, see someone I fucking want to see get punched in the face, get punched in the face.
Yeah.
I don't care if Canelo gets punched in the face.
We also just don't have like that big American name in boxing right now. Like Wilder was kind of that guy with that knockout power, but he's just so raw and not like super technical or good.
because he started boxing late in life.
Right.
He could get there, but
Yeah.
who knows?
But he's
I
just,
don't understand why anybody even joins the UFC. Like if you're a fucking top 50 athlete in boxing, you are making bank. If you're a top 10 boxer or a top 10 UFC person, you still might not be getting paid. I mean, fuck that shit.
Dana does not pay.
He does not pay at all.
Fuck that. There's no if I'm a young MMA guy right now, I'm leaving that shit and trying to learn to box right now.
Or you
Fuck
can go to
that.
Asia. ONE FC pays. ONE FC's got a
Yeah,
lot
ONE FC
of
does.
money.
Yeah,
to
didn't
support.
Chuck fight over in Asia?
Yeah, he fought a couple times. Chuck fought in a lot of divisions.
Yeah.
He fought like all over the world.
Yeah, I was watching some of his old footage over in some
Cage
place.
Warriors?
Yeah, someplace in Asia, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
I mean,
was
he
like,
looks like the type of guy. Like he looks like an extra, or like the guy Wolverine kills in like the first scene of X-Men where he's just fighting in a cage.
I'm not telling you
Chuck
that.
looks like the type of guy to take that type of fight.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But again, with the Paul brothers dominating all this shit, like even on social media, all these top UFC fighters are saying, "Fight me, fight me, fight me, fight me," and that's all everybody's talking about. And then obviously June 6th will be Logan and Mayweather. I guarantee you that does more pay-per-view buys than this Canelo fight did on Saturday night. Yes or no?
Maybe.
Mayweather versus Logan Paul.
Mayweather's not a very exciting. I think because that McGregor fight was so boring that he's not going to get as big a bump as some other.
Also,
like,
are you talking about McGregor versus Mayweather?
Yeah,
I enjoyed the shit out of that.
That was horrible. If
it was fun.
I liked it.
From a technical boxing standpoint, it was a man who was very good at boxing, toying with another man who was clearly not for a couple of rounds until he finally fucking let loose and ended it because he was bored. That's what happened in that fight. So let's not rewrite history here.
Also,
Mayweather's boring as shit.
More
if
people,
it was De La Hoya, then that would fucking definitely do it for
more
sure.
people would want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Not like people are kind of
Yeah.
coming around on Logan. People are like, Logan's okay.
I don't think people give a fuck about Logan. To
No.
be honest.
Yeah, are they almost bored of Logan right
Yeah.
now?
I don't know.
Logan has the bigger audience, but is a lot more palatable.
Yeah, I think I really do think if it was De La Hoya versus fucking Jake Paul right now, that would break every record. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's two loudmouth assholes, and De La Hoya would probably light his ass up too.
I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna put if there's a bet on my bookie about ratings for this, I will put on this Mayweather Logan Paul fight. I think people underestimate how many fucking followers he actually has. Like, even kids want to watch it.
He has that podcast.
Dude,
Yeah.
the podcast is massive. My kids wants to watch. They want to watch the Paul brothers fight. Dead serious. And he's 7 years old. Right. And he's like, when is Jake Paul fighting?
But also,
Did you
Logan's
properly
got
send him to his room without dinner?
Yeah.
no, I let him watch the fight with me.
That makes me rethink my child.
But
the first one,
Yeah,
first
true.
one, that first fight, I let him stay up and I let him watch the Jake Paul fight with me. And, because he's in all the kid videos on YouTube and he's like us, where he's got a bunch of shows on his network. And one of them is the mini Jake Paul. And then Jake Paul's in his videos, so my kid knows who he is. I mean, all these fucking kids know who the Paul brothers are,
But
man.
Logan's boxing record's also not as good. What is he?
Oh,
Has he
and
won yet?
I think he's
He had a
0-1 and
tie
1.
with
That
Yeah.
KPI guy kept beating
KSI.
whatever. Who the fuck cares?
No, he kept losing to KSI is what he kept doing.
Yeah.
I think he's 0-1 or something. But again, just for the freakish nature of it, I think there'll be more buys. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't impressed with any of those fucking undercards.
The zone's not pay-per-view, so it would be a view versus view kind of situation. Which
No. It was pay-per-view. It was $69.99 to watch that fight on Saturday night.
No, the zone $19.99 a month. You just have to subscribe.
Yeah. So if you sign up for a year, that's correct. If you want a one-time buy only, that fight was $69.99.
Cancel anytime. I canceled immediately.
Did you really?
Paid $20.
They'll take it.
Yeah, they'll take it.
They'll take it.
Yeah, because your dumbass is going to do it 4 more times before the year's over, and they're going to make $80 instead of $69.
I know. It's so true, dude.
No, 1 or 2 boxing events a year.
We'll see.
Max.
We'll see. We'll find out who
Wait,
they
Dan,
got on the card.
that math doesn't work out. Like he could have paid $69 for one, but he paid $20, and then he pays it again. He would have had to pay $130, but now he's only paying $40.
No, dude, I said 3 or 4 more times.
Yeah.
That's 60 or
Yeah,
80.
or $120. But then he watches 4 fights. It would have cost $240 if he would have bought them individually.
Yeah, I'm just saying
I'm gonna go
his
back to Ross
plan
now.
to save money is not going to work because he's going to end up spending money anyways.
Look, I'm not a math guy.
you're not getting fucking. You're not.
Let's not dive into Dan's finances here.
What's that?
Why not?
I'm here. This is the new show.
Actually,
Why not?
Actually, that does sound like good content, to be honest.
Did you win this weekend? I know you won UFC, and you didn't win Canelo.
No, unfortunately, didn't take home that
What about
5-1.
golf? We were out. We were at the Rangers game on Friday night. By the way, Dan called that one live on air. He picked Seattle Mariners.
Oh.
So you won. You're the only person I'm taking baseball picks from daily, man. That's so fucking hard to gamble.
Yeah, I won $2,700 on that game, and then I won another like $500 on the Dodgers the next day. It's pretty easy.
For you, for me, man, it's impossible.
No, Rory won the Wells Fargo.
Did he really?
So I did not bet on
Is
Rory.
he back or no?
He is back.
You think so?
2 weeks is the PGA Championship. It's the same site, Kiowa, where he won the last PGA Championship by 7 strokes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there's ever a time Rory could win another major, you would think it's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's in 2 weeks. Next up, LeBron James is more than likely out for the regular season, and the Lakers might have to play in the play. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Woo. Whenever there's bad LeBron James news, fire that up as loud as it'll go because it will never get old to me.
I think you got old news there because ESPN saying he's coming back Tuesday against the Knicks.
No. I think he's out.
Okay, this is posted about 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago. LeBron James will likely return for Tuesday's game against the New York Knicks as his injured right ankle has been pain-free for several days.
Okay, so then let me ask you this. Is it because they might have that play-in game and they don't want to do that?
Probably, but I don't know why. Who cares? I mean, look, you're putting all your eggs in one basket if you allow a play-in game. What will be really funny is if he comes back and they still lose. That'll be the best thing. Then you can play that fucking applause thing. That'll be really funny. I like when bad things happen to bad people.
Well, Stephen A. Smith thinks that they could lose the play-in game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you allow the playoff game to come about, you're putting all your eggs into one game basket. Yeah. Anybody can lose to anybody else on any given day. If the other team gets hot from 3 and you go cold from 3, you're fucked.
That's why those games are fun.
It's a bit of a nightmare lineup too in that 7, 8, 9, 10 on the West. You've got Steph and the Warriors right behind the Lakers right now.
How funny would that be? If Steph and the Warriors bumped him out in a one-game playoff.
Be the
fucking
best.
Hilarious.
Steph goes off for 50.
Yeah.
12 3-pointers. That would be the great. That'd be great. These play-in games are a blast. Who else is down there at the bottom of that division?
It's the Grizzlies and the Spurs because it goes down to 10, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
so-
are the Pelicans at right now?
Pels are at 11.
Are they in the mix?
They're
How
it
far
looks
back?
like they're a game and a half behind the Spurs.
We
for
need
10th place.
Zion.
Zion's out for the rest of the year.
He's out for the rest of the year.
He won't come back.
No,
he
for the
got,
playoffs.
he got injured.
They're not going to
now.
waste him on that. But you have either a team coached by Greg Popovich that is not lacking in talent per se, just they haven't been very good lately. Then you've got John Morant and the Grizzlies, and then you've got fucking Steph who can't miss a 3-pointer this season, all waiting for you.
Yeah.
And if you win, all of that, your reward is Chris Paul and the Suns.
Right.
Yeah.
Which let's be real. The fucking Lakers are gonna pick the Suns apart.
Yeah,
You
they
think
would.
so? They just beat them.
Yeah.
They did just beat them.
I'm looking at it here. It's because the Blazers are in that 6th slot, right?
Yeah.
It says because the Blazers own the series tiebreaker after a win against the Lakers last week, Los Angeles needs to go 4-0 with the Blazers splitting their last 4 games in order to avoid the play-in tournament. They're going to the play-in tournament. I think we can all probably agree on that. If they get bounced in the play-in tournament, I'll be one of the happiest people on the face of the planet.
They don't have the
I think we
worst-
should try to go to that game if it happens.
In LA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as LeBron's walking off the court after the loss, say, what did that woman say to him that time? LeBron, you're a pussy-ass bitch.
Yeah, I think so.
And then the fucking security guard's like,
Lady, watch your
No, he
mouth.
said, hey, woman, watch your mouth, which is kind of a sexist thing to say, to be honest. But
Yeah.
Whatever. It was funny.
The Lakers have a pretty easy schedule down the stretch. It's the Knicks, which are surprisingly good, but still
Knicks are
the
gritty.
Eastern Conference.
Knicks are gritty.
Then they're catching the dog shit Rockets,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the dog shit Pacers, and the Zionless Pelicans. in the
Dog
season.
shit teams played pretty well in the last 5 games of the season in the NBA. There's actually I gotta find this article, but that's when it's like the Suns last year, for example. Teams with nothing to lose just start trying shit and it clicks a lot.
Oh, the Suns went undefeated in the bubble because they were trying to make the playoffs still. They went undefeated.
for
in-
sure, but
they were a
weren't-
game short,
But
yeah.
they weren't good enough to go undefeated in the bubble. Let's be real; they were playing out of their fucking minds, and it happens a lot to borderline and shitty teams at the end of the season. They're called spoilers. Now, I'm predicting what's going to happen here. LeBron's going to get into a situation either in the playoff or the play-in game or one of those games that they absolutely need to win. They're going to be not doing well, and he's probably going to fucking get injured. So he can blame it on that. That's
Yeah.
my call.
Because
He's a giant fucking pussy.
I 100% agree with that.
He's one of the biggest pussies in the history of professional sports.
I love watching him play, like when he's at like his best or whatever. But like, fuck, dude, that personality just gets more indefensible by the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't stand him. Dan, there's going to be 3,000 fans allowed in attendance for the Lakers games.
Fuck that.
You and I.
Well, it's not, who says it's going to be a
3,000
Lakers
fans-
game?
Right, exactly. It could be somewhere else, but it looks like the way this will probably shake out, I think LA would have home court.
So if LA
For that playing game?
If they stay in the 7th seed, they only have to play once. Like 9 and 10 have to deal with it. Then 8. It's like a waterfall, I think.
Right.
So they only have to deal with one game because they've earned the 7th spot.
Right.
Or something. Maybe they have to play 2 games, but they have the least. They will have the least burden on them, I think, as a 7th seed.
And this is solely to avoid teams from tanking. Like it's supposed to encourage teams to actually not.
Not only play, but the ratings on it last year were really good because those games were awesome to watch.
But that was only 8-9, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I don't know why. I don't know why baseball didn't do it sooner. That fucking play-in game in '93 between the Dodgers and the Braves was super fucking. Exciting, right?
Also, 4 teams in each league is just seems like so little.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, 40. Yeah, when it was just the LCS, that was too few. I think we're kind of getting to the point where it's too many.
Ivan Huertas is asking who the NBA MVP is going to be. It will be Jokic. 100%. There's literally no chance it's not going to happen.
Embiid hasn't played enough games.
15 years in a row, the fucking PER leader has won the MVP, and the only person that has a statistical chance to catch him now is Embiid, and he's only played 48 games, I believe. So
How about Steph Curry? That's who
not
I
even
got.
close. He's at like 26 and a half. Not even close. Embiid's like at 31 and change. I'm sorry, Jokic and Embiid actually.
And and it should be noted also, Jokic lost Murray halfway through the
Yep.
season.
That's true.
And it's never, since the stat has started being tracked, PER has been a predictor of the MVP every single year. Not going to change this year.
What's
It's a terrible bet, though. It's minus 1,500 on my bet.
it's terrible.
That's all you got to really look at.
It's terrible.
There's
What's
no-
its Vegas odds?
Shit. Curry's averaging 32 points this year.
31.9, yeah.
Fucking
Yeah,
A,
but they
man.
still suck.
They're going to get in. It looks like they'll get into the playoff game. That'll be fun.
10 out of the 14 teams.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. With 3,000 fans in attendance, Dan, they would be able to hear us. Do you remember how fucked up we got? I forget what game it was, and we were screaming at Tom Brady.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember where that was.
Wait, within earshot?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was the AFC Championship game, actually,
Yeah,
against the...
Within earshot, for
Chiefs,
sure.
yeah.
There was a couple ahead of us that were not fans of ours. They were Patriots fans.
What are you going to do?
They were the only Patriots fans in that stadium, too. And with 3,000 there, if you wanted to get drunk and mouthy, they would definitely be able to hear you inside the arena 100%.
I don't need to get drunk to be mouthy.
But it's funnier. It's funnier when you are mouthy.
I'm certainly going to.
Baseball-wise, we went to the new Texas Rangers Stadium on Friday night, Dan. That place was beautiful. Getting in there is a nightmare, and the new rules and everything are awful. Baseball is just making it harder and harder for you to enjoy that game. Women aren't allowed to take purses in there.
Well, that's just Ranger Stadium. Different stadiums are different about that stuff. Some of them require a clear bag, and they don't care how big it is. And then the Ranger Stadium, they don't care if your bag is clear or not, but it can only be the size of a goddamn postage stamp.
Yes.
So, I don't know what the point of any of that shit is. It's really stupid.
I don't either. Like, did the terrorists won on this one? Nobody bombed a fucking MLB stadium yet, so why are we doing that? I couldn't figure it out.
I don't know.
Because there's a lot of women that go to baseball games, and it's like, all right, shit. What are you going to do with all your stuff? And it was strange. The stadium itself was gorgeous, though. So for everybody out there who are Rangers fans, beautiful stadium. And it feels kind of like Houston's, in my opinion.
I don't think they're looking for bombs. I think they're looking for booze.
Really?
Trying to get the beer sales up.
I mean, look, we were talking about it with the Tailgate Legends guys about the food inside the stadium, how great it was at the old stadium. You walk in, and there was, yards? Georgia, I think I saw you carrying a yard within like 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I drank about 3 yards of margarita.
Yeah.
And then I put about 3 yards of margarita in that hotel toilet.
You drank your way, so what is that, like a third of the way to first base?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
No. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Like a ninth of the way to first base.
Yeah, it's 3 yards.
Right?
3 yards.
I'm going to blame it on the
can't do
seltzers,
math.
though.
They have a Senor Frogs in there?
Close.
Close. When you walk in, there was a woman holding trays of them. And they
Yeah.
had yard trays, and it was around
But
her neck.
they wouldn't take cash, which was kind of weird.
They did take Bitcoin, though.
Did they really?
No.
Oh, I was going to say. Look, it wouldn't surprise me at this point.
We're
So
hoping.
the entire stadium didn't take any cash.
That doesn't surprise me.
COVID.
That's weird. man.
Compliant.
Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, what was
I
great?
guess.
Instead of people telling you to wear your mask, they just tapped a sign like this. There was just old people being like,
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
So there was a bunch of old people wearing masks, holding signs up on a stick, and it just said, "Please wear your mask." And they would just stand there, like in front of your face, like a homeless person asking for money.
I like that.
It was creepy, man. They were walking all over the stadium.
I like that because that's who you'd kill, right?
Yeah.
You can't have a 20-year-old. You're like, shut up, Todd. But like an old lady, like that's
you're
like
right.
you're like,
I felt
oh
bad.
fuck, dude. All right, I won't.
Fucking
yeah.
Gertrude over here.
Right, exactly.
The Mets have placed DeGrom on the injured reserve with side tightness. Does that help the Braves at all?
They don't need help.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the Mets they have to worry about right now because the rest of the Mets team fucking sucks.
Yeah, I was. By the way, I said this before the season. I think was not too high on the Lindor signing because I kind of think he's not as good statistically as people like.
Well, he's been on the downside the last 2 seasons.
It was a lot of money they gave him, too.
Last year is hard to gauge because it was all fucked up, but the year prior to that, he was definitely on the slide, and he's not doing well this year either.
No.
But it does take time to get adjusted to a new league. I think that plays a smaller role now than it did previously because there's so many interleague games. And it used to be back in the day, the National League had its own umpires and the American League had their own umpires. American League calls higher strikes frequently. They don't like the low ball, and they're tight on the corners. The National League fucking likes the low ball, hates the high strike. They won't call it. Pretty good if you stay consistent on the corners, they call it. That's not the case anymore. So I don't know why it would be different.
Right, and then you add in all the fucking film and shit you got on people now compared to like popping in a VHS tape in like 1986 of, whatever fucking pitcher. Yeah, it's league adjustments not really a thing anymore.
I mean, Lindor is hitting 194 with 2 home runs so far. He's outside of the top 150 in every statistical category. And, looking at the 2019, so his wins above replacement started out his career at 4.6. He started out really fast and went up to 5.7, 5.5. Everyone thought 2018 at 7.9 was going to be evidence that he's progressing further, and that wasn't the case. He regressed down to 4.7, while his batting average came up, his power numbers dropped significantly. He went from 92 RBIs to 74 RBI in one season. That's not a good sign.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and one thing with him, too, is with a guy like Lindor that plays shortstop, that's a huge fucking red flag when you're looking at their wins above replacement as opposed to other players, is how much of that is defense. Because you just toss the defensive wins above replacement out. They don't know what the fuck they're calculating.
What was his regression in WRC then?
From what to what?
From 18 to 19.
18 to 19, he went from 132 to 115.
So he went from all-star to middle-of-the-road MLB player, basically.
Right, yeah. And then
Because the average is 100, right? For like every...
The average is 100, yeah. Average, if you are 100 WRC plus, you're an average Major League Baseball player. In 2020, he was 102. Like, that's all fucking red flag. Like, you can't look at wins above replacement at a guy like that and be like, oh, fuck, this guy's a great player, because defense is feeding way too fucking much into it.
And if you're spending that kind of money on a guy, you're not spending it for a dude that hits 284 with 30 home runs.
No.
Right? You need a middle of the lineup guy at that price, and they're not getting it right now.
And if you are spending that money and you're like banking on defense, it better be like Ozzie Smith, Andrelton Simmons defense along with a 30 home run bat. Like, it can't just be that or whatever. But I want to say also, Pete Alonso kind of off to a medium start, and it's really more Lindor not doing anything. But Alonso needs to kind of get in gear a little more as well.
Well, the Mets are 16 and 13, leading the division because of their pitching, not their hitting.
Yeah,
their pitching's been really good. Stroman's good. DeGrom's been the best in baseball by a wide margin.
Still,
and he's having one of those seasons though because their fucking offense sucks so much. He's 3-2. With a .68 ERA. He's got a .68 ERA with a .6 WHIP, by the way, which means he only allows one base runner every 2 innings.
Right.
Base runner. Mm-hmm. Right? He's already thrown a complete game this year. In 6 starts, he's 3-2, right, with a no decision. That's not good with those numbers. And it's not like he got rocked.
It should be
starts.
It should be impossible to lose any games with a .6 ERA.
He's lost 2 games giving up 1 earned run.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. Who is the favorite looking like right now, as of today, who would win the World Series based on what you've seen so far?
Probably the. That's hard to say. I would probably say the Dodgers still. I don't. This recent slide doesn't mean shit to me.
Just looking at the numbers and my calculations, it's looking like the Phillies might be in the mix.
Yeah. I'm looking at that Phillies team.
They got tuned up by a
record.
fucking 22-year-old last night. But to be fair, Oscar Noah tunes up everybody he pitches against.
Lately,
He's hitting 400 this year, with 2 home runs.
18 and 17 for the Phillies.
Yeah, for, like
Same as the
game
Dodgers.
back.
Yeah.
Game back.
Where the whole East is right next to each other. The Nationals are 4 games under 500. They're 3.5 back. I think it's the Dodgers until further notice. It is mid-May.
Yes.
So who gives a shit? In fact, you know what? Maybe their odds slid. Buy Dodger.
Yeah.
Can you buy Dodger futures right now at a better price? Fucking do it.
Probably not.
You can buy Doge or you can buy
Probably not.
Dodger.
Yeah.
So buy Dodger on mybookie.com.
But I'm excited. Rob was saying the same thing about the Braves in April. He's like, it's just April. Now he's just saying it's just May. Oh, no, it's only September,
We're
guys.
a game and a
Like,
half out of first.
It's only September.
And a half game behind you. What are you fucking talking
Well,
about?
the Braves have. They still have the same. Here's the fucking. Everybody's talking about the Dodgers and this and that. Whatever. This has been a problem for them for a long time that they've been able to hide. Now losing Dustin May hurts badly because that's a guy that can pick up a lot of the slack. Kenley Jansen is still their closer somehow. They've had 9 blown saves in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
9 blown saves in 2. That's almost every fucking game, right? In a 2-week period. Well, it's 2.5 weeks. So it's, I think they played 11 or 13 games, 12 games, 9 blown saves. So they've been somewhere past the 5th inning in the lead and lost 9 of those games, right? That's a bullpen problem, and that's not something I'm particularly concerned about with the Dodgers because they can go buy something.
They can go get it, and it should be noted also they're a game over 500, and they are still decimated by injuries.
Yeah.
I will say, Rob, I think the reason I'm a little aggravated at the Braves this year is because I'm high on them, so I keep betting the Braves.
Yeah. Well, they
like I'm
won,
addicted.
2 games this weekend?
I'm addicted to bet the Braves, and I think I've bet on all 17 losses.
You do this with...
At least you're even on the season.
This
There's
is
17-17.
This is your inherent, like, unintended bias, like your really, like, subconscious bias, where you do that with... You come... Because you do this all the time to me on...
To me, the Braves are 0-17.
You do this to me on, like, Sunday mornings or Mondays when we see each other. You'll hit me up, and you're like, dude, man, fuck Mizzou. And I'm like, what'd you do? Did you bet on them again? And you're like, yeah, fuck them. They're fucking awful. And it's always the losses because you like talk. Well, and I feel like
you talk me into it.
I get that
I don't talk
all
you into
the
it.
time. Whoever I bet on during the fall, and if they win or lose, they're like, fuck you, Ross, or fuck that team or whatever. And I'm like, look, that's gambling. We're going to win some. We're going to lose some. We just happen to win a lot
There's
more.
no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, you got to just keep betting.
Just sports hate.
Keep firing away.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
And then when the
next-
sports are down, the crypto's up. So, we're
Exactly,
full
dude.
service.
Stonks,
Buy
brother.
Ethereum.
Buy Ethereum, exactly. Buying a lot of that shit. Next up, Kenny Mayne is officially got the boot from ESPN today after 27 years. A lot of people are asking what is happening with ESPN. Dan Le Batard left last week as well. He went for the bag. So there was contract renegotiations that broke off, and then it was either DraftKings or FanDuel. DraftKings gave him $50 million for 3 years to do his own podcast, including Sirius XM. Kenny Mayne is now gone, one of their staples.
Yeah, I like this. ESPN is a fucking, and Disney as well, garbage. All the people that run those organizations are total pieces of shit. I don't mean they're bad at programming, which they are, by the way. I mean that they are bad human beings. They're fucking shitbags. So I love seeing this, and I wasn't surprised by it. My guess is Mayne made him an offer they had to refuse so he could leave, probably, right? So he could look like they rejected him, and he goes out in good graces and fucking picks up something else. That's a smart move on his part. People do watch, from the very beginning, people have been fans of Boomer and Kenny Mayne and Scott Van Pelt and all the other, and fucking Dan Patrick, if you want to go back that far. They've been fans, even Olbermann, they were fans of the personality. They don't give a fuck about ESPN as a brand. Who cares? Why would anyone care about ESPN as a brand? They go because they want to see that person. They want to see back, or whatever the fuck. They don't care about the brand. ESPN is dumb as shit. And it seems like they're fucking intentionally tanking their network right now, frankly.
Well, I know what's happening. And by the way, speaking of which, breaking news, Boomer just signed an extension. So back on. He's there going to do the
primetime?
Yes.
Their ESPN Plus primetime?
Correct.
Yeah, no, they just got to pump Stephen A. full of whatever upper they need to have him running 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
Just cover everything.
Dude, it's because he's getting the most money, but after doing 2 shows now with Michael Irvin, You put the two of them together, that is the biggest show on the planet. Nobody can beat that sports show. That is my honest opinion. You have the two of them going at each other's fucking throats for an hour. That is the best television and entertainment you can get in sports. Now, with ESPN, the problem was this. The ratings in a lot of these programming that they bought out for years in advance have not been doing well. Baseball's not doing well. The Sunday Night Baseball is not doing well. Now they're having to chop down their budgets and their salaries, so they're going after all the anchors with the biggest money. It's going to become a barstool situation because I heard the average salary now over at ESPN is about 85, 90 grand a year, when most of these people can make more than that podcasting. And it's like Dan says, it's about the personality. It's like if Kenny Mayne starts a podcast, it's going to fucking explode, and he'll make way more than he would at ESPN.
Yeah. I had no idea he was still at ESPN.
Yeah,
to be real,
ESPN is
they
still
weren't using him.
Yeah, they weren't using him.
Not really. He does like golf shit mostly, from what I've seen lately. Or and he occasionally
like
Who cares
sketches.
about golf?
yeah.
They would slot him in like the 6 p.m. Sports Center here and there, like the Sunday shows a little bit. Like it was an odd schedule for him. But on that network, I think the only three untouchables are probably SVP, Stephen A. Smith, and Kellerman, right?
Stanford Steve.
I don't think Kellerman's untouchable at all. You could swap him out for some other.
We hate Kellerman.
any other fucking white cuck could do his job.
Kellerman needs to go to DAZN and just solely stick to boxing.
I agree.
Or he
He's
should
great at boxing.
He's great at boxing.
Walk into fucking traffic or something. That'd be good too. He is the biggest piece of shit in all of sports media, I think. That guy. I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
his, by the way, like based on everything, because I remember watching him back in the day on not PTI, Around the Horn before Reali took over, and
Yeah, Rally's way fucking better. by
oh
the
yeah,
way.
absolutely,
Way better.
And I remember seeing him on Fox, like Fox Sports, like not long after that, and I was like, oh, that's where Max Kellerman is now. Like that dude, this is not like what he does on there. Like that is purely for show, and I'm not saying that as a don't go hard on him. It's like makes him worse. Like it's fake. It's not even like genuine shit. He's just like, I think this will make me cool on TV.
Or more likable?
Yeah.
Or unlikable?
Well, no, it's not unlikable. He's the same. It's the same as some fucking corporate media dick seeing a guy with 0 followers on Twitter say, this offends me, and then changing corporate policy because of it. He's just riding the fucking woke train and trying to make money off of it. Now, if you're riding some kind of train or whatever, some trend that is damaging to the country just so you can make money, you should blow your fucking brains out of the back of your head.
If ESPN really wants to save money, they hire Frank Caliendo, and he just does 30 impressions of all the former ESPN employees.
I think they tried that on Fox.
They did, actually. So they hired Caliendo to do the...
that was like in 2010.
Yeah, the pregame show on Fox. Him and, God damn it, who's the other guy from Hangover?
Rob Riggle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rob Riggle. And then there was a full segment every Sunday morning before the pregame show where he was doing impressions and all that other shit. Mm-hmm. The reason why is the clips were more shareable. So once it hit online, everybody would want to see him doing John Gruden, giving a pep talk or whatever it is. And those clips still go, like that money still goes back to Fox. Mm-hmm. And that's why South Park is so successful. It's their online, pieces that they're able to cut up, but they're almost like NFTs where it's just constantly pouring money back into Viacom. So maybe that's the answer. It seems like ESPN is leaning more political, which is also terrible for ratings. So I don't know what happens with ESPN in the future.
They just don't have a whole lot of original programming right now.
No.
They have live sports.
Yeah,
they have live sports.
Kind of.
They've got a lot. So if you go to ESPN Plus, you can get all the weird games you want. I watched a fucking James Madison football game because I forgot that spring ball was going on in some of these smaller schools, and I watched that football game on there, and I was like, oh, all right, well, fuck.
They're kind of fucked in the summer, like right now and shit. But dude, like,
well, but even in the summertime when they don't have as many live sports themselves on the network, they're frankly, regardless of what else is going on, for the most part, other than singular personalities like Patrick and some of these other dudes, SportsCenter is still the best aggregator of sports news that exists on cable television.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
So if you're a person that wants to hear about all sports, you got to go there, kind of, unless you're just doing your own research constantly on the internet, and that's tiresome. If you're a fan of one of the other guys, you're going to leave. Like fans of Dan Patrick who continued watching ESPN shit because he was there back in the day, they fucking left when he left. And it's the same thing's going to happen with fucking Kenny Mayne, although I don't think he's nearly as big a personality. But if Scott Van Pelt said, you know what, get fucked and left, he's bringing a lot of people with him.
Yeah, I think Kenny.
He's got a whole fucking brand.
Right.
Kenny Mayne was really great at interviews. I think he would be really good in the podcast space. And looking at the money that Lebitard got, Jesus Christ. Dude, speaking of which, there was another deal Thursday for Outkick the Coverage. Clay Travis's network got bought out by Fox. How?
I don't know who
how?
that. I don't know who Clay Travis
You
is.
don't want to know.
Lies.
Yeah, do you
don't
guys
wanna
want to
know.
explain it, Outkick the Coverage? Because
So you know how everything you just said about Max Kellerman, Clay Travis, but conservative.
yeah.
Oh God.
Yes, yes. Like he's blocked me on Twitter 2 years ago,
He's
probably.
one of the most insincere, like stunningly, like desperate to be, not even liked, just famous.
Yeah,
It's
working.
Dan. Like
Yeah, I think he single-handedly stopped the Greg Schiano hire at Tennessee.
He was the guy that.
Oh, yes.
He was the guy that led the rumors that Greg Schiano helped cover up child rape at Penn State because he didn't like that Tennessee was going to hire him.
Back when he was like a grad assistant.
So did it turn out to not be true?
No, it wasn't true at all.
So is Shiano able to sue this piece of shit?
I would
For
hope so.
defamation?
No,
Yeah.
it was so. What happened is Kashana went back to Rutgers, you know, and we don't know if it's true. Like, there's been that rumor
Now,
forever.
you don't get to say something is true and affect somebody's career if you don't have proof. You don't. The burden of proof is not on me to prove something isn't true. It's on you to prove
Correct.
it is true. And if you say stuff like that in public, then you should be subject to a fucking lawsuit.
Or unless it was true and there
No.
was nothing he could sue on. So
You would have to. They would have to have demonstrable proof that it was true. And if that was the case, you don't think this fucking Clay, whatever his name is,
Clay
with two
Travis.
stupid first names, what are you, a country singer? Get fucked, guy.
He used to also always
You don't think
brag
if that
about
guy had
his
that
net
information,
worth.
he wouldn't have put it out? Of course he fucking would for the ratings. He's obviously a fucking media whore.
yeah.
So there's that dog don't hunt, my man.
Well, look, if it
He should at least beat his ass.
If
What
it
does
was
Clay
untrue,
Travis look like?
Oh, you're gonna love it.
oh, you're gonna love this.
Yeah, probably.
Dan,
what you
Dan,
expect.
if you would probably hate this man more than everybody else. Like,
Yeah.
more than
Yeah,
Kellerman,
you would-
maybe.
He looks
you
like
would-
he looks like
Wanna kill
Screech
him.
in a fucking suit.
Yeah. I mean, he hits every one of your buttons.
literally every single last button.
There was a funny take one year. So, like, one of the reasons I'm reading the deadline thing, they're like, oh, we acquired it because, you know, it aligns with, like, our gambling stuff that we want to get into more with FanDuel. Some SB Nation blogger spent an entire season just betting the opposite of his picks. It was an Ohio State SB
Yes.
Nation blogger.
Yep.
Betting the opposite of his picks and came out at, like, 55%.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
not good for him. Huh?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
this
pretty
is.
funny.
I know who this guy is. He's the one that said he was on CNN. And he's like, "Oh, like boobs, man."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're super fucking witty and controversial, you fucking cunt.
Wasn't he like a editor at Deadspin for like a week?
Like a week, and they fired him because
Yeah.
they hated him so much.
Yeah.
Which that is as much of a badge as a sign of
Why would
regret.
Why would we even know the political affiliation of somebody who does sports commentary?
That's what's weird about this. The other thing I wanted to ask you about
Who gave him the deal? By the way,
Fox.
Fox Sports.
Fox Core?
Fox Core.
Fox. Yeah.
Fox itself. Here's the other
So
part
they're
of this.
doubling down on bullshit then.
Yeah, the other part of this deal is Fox CEO Lachlan Murdoch said the company will be deeply integrating Tubi, T-U-B-I, the free ad-supported streaming service, into its upfront negotiations with advertisers. Does that mean they're going to be airing the podcast on Tubi as well? And is that the future of where sports is going, is to these apps on your Roku or smart TV?
The real question, Rob, is our stock at TFM now worth anything?
Oh, boy.
Since Clay Travis bought TFM.
You're right. Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
now part of Fox.
Do you guys still have your shares?
No.
God no.
Ross, to somewhat seriously answer that question for you, I pay for Fubo just so I can watch different soccer channels. And I know a lot of the guys before there was UFC Fight Pass would pay for different organizations or online apps to watch some of the overseas fights. Amazon broke into the EPL last year, pre-COVID year, and aired a few of the games, and they did a really, really good job of it, like building out that infrastructure.
They're doing a good job at the NFL games they're hosting as well.
And they're all going to be on Thursday night. The Thursday night games are all going to be televised on Amazon.
yeah, and
So I think it's just whatever is the easiest that you can get the content that you want, and you let those big networks basically battle it out for the contracting rights. And I think exclusivity rights is going to be a big thing. And then, just you're going to have to kill streaming after that, kill illegal streams.
Good luck with that bullshit.
Yeah, man.
With
That's interesting.
VPNs and shit. I mean, to kill illegal streams, the only thing you can really do is govern countries that have the ability to be governed. And all I have to do is turn on a VPN on my fucking computer and switch my IP address to an ungovernable fucking region. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
You dumb fucks.
To be
That's
fair-
a losing battle. You have to incentivize people to come onto your platform somehow. You don't fucking try. The fucking stick very rarely works in preventing fraud. It very, very rarely works. You
I
have
would love to
incentivize
hear
people.
Dan talk to Dana White about that.
I'd
Oh
love to talk to him
yeah.
about it,
He's one of the masters of it, of getting rid of
I
these
think
illegal
it's just
streams.
fun for him. He's just like, it's like hunting. He's just like,
Yeah, I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
go
he-
after a streamer.
He's just bored. By the way, I mean, look,
He got the guy.
You can't. You
We got him.
You can't. There's no way. I promise you. If we didn't work with those guys, I would fucking show you how to do it. God damn it! It takes like 5 minutes to subvert every possible regulation they can put in place. You just can't do it. Now,
Yeah.
there's no reason to not make it more difficult. If there's low hanging fruit and you can get that out of the way so people can't do it easily, I would do that for sure. Like suing any kind of website that's in a country with an extradition treaty with the United States and stuff like that for sure. But if some asshole fucking starts up a big website in Panama, good luck.
Right.
They don't give two fucks if the person running that site pays the Panamanian government, they're gonna fucking hang their dicks out of their pants and say, "Come suck this." When Dana White or anybody else calls and says, "Fucking, hey, stop doing that," and then all you got to do is fucking get expressvpn.com.
Yes,
/Drinkin'
/Bros.
and change your IP to a fucking Panamanian one
For $7 a month. That's it.
Congratulations.
Used to do that all the time in high school.
Yeah.
Not with Express.
I did it in Iraq, man. I spoofed an American IP address in Iraq so I could do work like in my college and shit.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, the fuck.
You had to do that?
It's just so easy. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
It's so easy to do though, which
Yeah.
that's why if you make a rule that can be easily defeated, it's not real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The sign of good legislation is being clear, concise, and enforceable. If it's not all three of those things, it's not real. So,
Yeah.
like tax law, for example, it's only enforceable against you
Us. Yeah.
and us. Fucking Facebook. You know how much they paid in federal tax last year?
Zero.
Feels like negative.
Yeah.
Zero.
Zero?
Amazon, zero.
I bet you Zuckerberg even got that stimmy check, dog.
No.
You know? Last but not least here, Sean Culkin, the NFL player who was the Kansas City Chiefs tight end who asked for his entire contract to be paid in Bitcoin, was actually cut by the Chiefs.
I feel like if you're behind Travis Kelce, maybe keep the demands on the low end.
Well, he was.
Like you don't have a strong
He was.
hand in that situation.
He
Can't
was.
afford it.
The minimum salary he could have received was $920,000 to be converted all into Bitcoin. Another player did this about 3 years ago, but he put half of his salary in it and is worth, a fuck ton right now. I think it was $13 million. Now it's up to, whatever it is, right?
Lyman from the Titans.
Yes. Yeah. Is this going to be the future of what these contracts are going to look like, where you're going to ask teams to put your money in crypto and shit like that?
Who cares? Just buy the crypto your fucking self.
Yeah,
They're
that's what I don't
They're
understand.
not going to give you a fucking 1,000 Bitcoin contract. They're going to give you a dollar amount contract, and then you can fucking get it in Bitcoin at that rate.
Is
when
it for
hits.
tax purposes though?
Yeah,
Maybe.
this is what I'm wondering, and that's why I'm just kind of asking this aloud, because I don't know.
But taking your payment in Bitcoin is not going to keep the IRS. Like the fucking Kansas City Chiefs, for example, still have to report their outgoing salaries to their players. If he's taking his salary in Bitcoin to avoid paying taxes, he's going to jail.
Oh, because it's reported to the government.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Like both sides of that, like we file our taxes at Tetherball, and these assholes file their taxes as well.
'Cause
and if they're different, somebody comes and knocks on the door. Like, hey, why is this different?
Yep. Giorgio was saying he wants to be paid exclusively in BAT now.
Yeah, me and Dan were definitely talking about that. We were trying to get around these taxes
Like
as well.
China bats,
No,
because we've proved
Basic
that wrong.
attention
token. Yeah.
If you go look at, by the way, for the China thing, if you go look at my Instagram today, there's a dude, very smart guy, did a little bit. I'm not going to say anybody's names right now, but just go look. Did a study on. Let's just say this: there's a program that was backed by Fauci and Francis Collin, the former director of the Human Genome Project, and one other asshole, some doctor. And it's a type of testing. We're going to talk about it on fake news this week. It's a type of testing that tries to make super viruses so we can get the vaccines for them in advance. Right? They spent like $100 million on it before.
Yep.
And from the data we've seen now, at least one of those viruses per year gets out. typically, right? This one happened to be this one, right? And now they're increasing that funding from $100 million a year to $1.2 billion.
There you go.
Right? So look into that, probably. Bats.
Yeah, bats.
It wasn't bats. It was created in a fucking lab. You fucking idiots. You fucking kidding me?
I didn't think it was bats. It was that the one animal, right? That's
Pangolin?
The pangolins.
The pangolin?
Yeah.
No, the bat bit the pangolin, I think. Or
Okay.
something like that. Yeah, they fucking...
Did the pangolin fuck the bat?
They had like a fucking murder board, like Charlie Kelly from...
Yeah, It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, It's Always Sunny, just like
Pepe Sylvia.
Pepe Sylvia. Everybody in this place is Pepe Sylvia.
Look,
Yeah.
we're not ESPN. We don't bring politics.
Somebody
into
said
this.
that
Look, and if you're
Jason-
YouTube paying attention, bat or his basic attention token. We are not talking about animals. We are not talking about any other countries. Please keep us on
crypto.
time.
It is crypto.
I don't give a
It's
fuck about monetization.
cryptocurrency.
Jason Whitlock is apparently signing with Daily Wire.
Is he really?
That's what somebody in the chat said.
So he got
So
hired.
he's off ESPN.
He
Well,
also
today-
got hired by Clay Travis and then let go.
Him and Clay Travis,
like a month later.
got together. Then got apart. He wrote some of the most cringe fucking shit I have ever seen in my life.
Well, Whitlock.
yeah, on
Yeah.
that site.
Yeah.
Wow. So today was signing day and who's back and who's not at ESPN. I didn't see the rest of the cut list, but Jason Whitlock apparently was on it then.
No, he was gone
No,
from
no.
ESPN for a
Oh, he
while.
was.
But I mean, it's just big news when he signs anywhere. He's
I guess. Not really.
we're talking about it.
He's a name.
It's a fucking 24-hour news cycle, baby.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to talk about a man who is filled with Gates barbecue.
Whitlock was actually banned by Twitter
Yep.
because he posted the story about that BLM woman buying homes.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Like he got banned. I'm looking at the post he made on Twitter right now. Black Lives Matter founder buys 1.4 million home in Topanga, which has a black population of 1.4%. She's with her people. He said that and got his account banned. That seems like a pretty fucking low bar for banning to me.
He's
But,
back. He's on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
Now, but it was during that that whole segment that he got suspended from Twitter on there. So, look, if that's the truth, he certainly brings headlines, whether or not it's intentional or not. Who knows?
He
But
he very much is a headline grabber. For
Yes.
sure.
ESPN's just kind of been going this way for at least the last decade, where like if a name gets too big, they just can't afford him anymore.
Yep.
So they just let him go.
Well, they definitely can afford him. It's one of the richest companies on earth. Disney is doing pretty well for themselves. They can certainly afford it. There's no question about that. Will they? No. Absolutely not. And why would they? I mean, maybe sports commentators are like fucking tailbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, I
There's so many of them. And if you have a program where you can develop a brand, a personality, why ever pay them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, is actually good for the sports market because they're just constantly spending their own money to create new fucking talent. I mean, it's not bad.
yeah.
The best example of that to me is actually we talk about like Stephen A. Smith and all these people. The best example is, do you remember how fucking hot in terms of like talent wise and buzz Michelle Beadle was like 6 years ago?
Oh yeah.
Michelle Beadle was like it. It was like this is like the future of fucking dude. Like this is ESPN's
Katie
big
Nolan.
star.
But
Yeah.
you know what
But-
what happened with Michelle Beadle though, right?
What?
So she came out live on air and said at that point there was a bunch of domestic violence with NFL players. And she goes, I refuse to do this morning show anymore and talk about the NFL because the NFL won't address this issue. And she was gone 2 days later and then only doing NBA games. I don't know if she's still doing that NBA thing because it was her. Paul Pierce is now gone, so I don't know if she's still there.
Oh,
anymore.
I think she does still do the NBA a little bit. But I mean, like, dude, she was supposed to be the
That's
next
why.
face of the network.
Yeah.
Oh, she got fucking Stephen A. Smith suspended
Yes. Yeah.
because she didn't like what he had to say about the Ray Rice domestic assault case.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's before or after the fucking video and stuff because pretty indefensible afterwards.
Right.
If
Yeah.
if somebody says X happened, and I'm like, all right, cool. Let me hear that other side. If I see what happened in that elevator, I don't need to hear the other side.
Right,
Right.
right.
Because there's no justification for any of that shit.
Yeah.
Unless I don't know if he was bored or something, but like in general, if your day's going all right, probably don't do that.
Yeah. And lastly, Dan, a lot of people are asking about your new armrest there. Where did you get that?
I have no idea. Came in the mail from some fan. So thanks to whomever it was.
Because people are asking what you use to rest your arm on. It's the headphone
Yeah,
thing.
this is a headphone stand.
But now you have
headphone
your
goes.
own massage table.
Yeah, this is way more
for your
comfortable,
arm.
by the way. I appreciate that. I didn't know this was a thing, and I've never.
I didn't either until today.
I've never needed an arm stand in my life for anything, but it just feels weird sitting here like this talking. Like with my hands, I feel like fucking
Ron Burgundy.
I don't know what to do. No, it's
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby, yeah.
Oh, is there going to be like little tiny people like Gilligan's Island and give him like a massage on his arm?
Maybe.
You mean
Can you find him?
not Gilligan's Island? What the
Gulliver's
fuck is-
Travels.
Yeah. That's
I'm
what-
sorry.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the little robot from Rick and Morty, where it's like, "What is my purpose?" and it's just to serve butter.
Oh yeah.
Just like it, and just like that's its only and it finds out and wants to die. Like just
Yeah.
hates its life.
It's very nice.
We all want to die. Let's be
Yeah.
real about that.
Well, not before
Millennials,
May
anyways.
29th, because that is the Champions League final, which Chelsea, your boy's favorite team, is in against Manchester City, pulling off a big win against them last night, 2-1, as a little precursor to it. We're also in the FA Cup final, and we're going to facilitate third place and qualify for next year's Champions League. So, big out for my Blues. Just had to give that at the end of the show.
Real quick, who wins it?
We're going to win. Chelsea needs to win this. We need to be the only team in London with the European Cup. We're going to have 2 of them. That's the trophy with the big ears. It's the biggest event in sporting of all year round. It's the most watched sporting event of the year every year, and I can't wait to win it again.
All right.
What asshole owns Chelsea? Is it the Boston Red Sox guy or Stan Kroenke?
No, that
LeBron?
Nope.
Because LeBron's part of
That's
that.
Liverpool. That's
yeah.
Fenway Sports Group. You're also talking about Kroenke, who owns Arsenal. Both those teams suck. We're actually owned by a Russian billionaire, Roman Abramovich, whose billion-dollar yacht has a missile defense system on it.
Oh, dude. So you're actually
yes.
owned by an even worse person than Arsenal and fucking.
He's the worst human of all time.
Liverpool. Like
yeah,
if you're a Russian billionaire, that just means murderer.
Yes, and he's best friends with Putin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So super murderer.
Yeah. Can Putin own a team? Is he allowed?
I mean, he owns a country.
He owns a country.
Yeah, but can he
not
have a
team?
Can he have a Premier League team?
I don't know what that would be the Premier League's rules. I would imagine. I
Yeah.
have no idea how any of that works.
Me neither.
I
But it'd be
mean, Man
fun.
City's owned by a shouty sheik.
I would
so.
want to be.
It'd be
owned by
fun.
Putin.
I'd watch that because if a player did bad, they die immediately after the game. So hey, you guys better play right.
There's a documentary called The Two Escobars, which you should really check
Yeah,
out.
I mean, Pablo owned
I watched
several
it.
teams.
I watched it. It was a 30 for 30. It was excellent, man. And that guy got fucking executed right after. What was it, an own goal?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Speaking of Pablo Escobar, we'll be talking about those guys tomorrow on regular Drinkin' Bros. In the meantime, tomorrow is either tomorrow or the day after, we interviewed super agent Darren Prince, who was Magic Johnson's agent and Hulk Hogan and all those guys. Super fascinating dude, and it was a great interview that'll air here either tomorrow or the day after on Drinkin' Bros Sports. And then you guys have Major League Baseball on Thursdays. Yep.
Usually we move that around to Wednesday sometime depending on the schedule.
Okay.
It's a midweek show.
Fantastic. So subscribe to Drinkin' Bros Sports on YouTube and the iTunes feed and Spotify and all that stuff. On iTunes, please rate and review the show. That is the only thing that matters to advertisers and ratings and all that other stuff. In the meantime, we appreciate you stopping by the Monday morning recap for D'Anthony Hollaway, PhD, Hot Bob. I'm Ross Patterson. Drinkin' Bros Sports Recap Show. Peace.